Well, guys, 2016 is almost over, but before we can close the cover on this year, I have one little bit of business I still have to do. It's something I've done every year since I started Reaction and Review. I've always looked back at the previous year's episodes. I find the 5 best, and I find the 5 worst, and I count them down. Naturally, we are going to start with the 5 best. Yes, guys, these are the top 5 reaction and review movies of 2016. Number 5 is a movie that actually kind of shocked me a little bit. It didn't shock me because of the content of the movie, but rather the quality of the movie. Number 5 was a superhero film from 2011 called All Superheroes Must Die. Now, the reason why I was shocked is multifold. Number 1, we have to look at the film's budget. It was made on a budget of almost nothing, but the filmmakers were able to stretch and squeeze and pinch every penny until we had a movie that wound up looking fucking amazing. It does not look like a movie that was made on as low a budget as it was made with. It actually looks like something that might have had like $100,000 budget. But no, it had far, far less. And then we top it off, the movie also had an amazing premise, which I was completely sold on the moment that I read it on the back of the Blu-ray case. Unfortunately, I have been a little bit wary about movies with really promising premises ever since I saw Rubber, which had an amazing premise, and the first half was really good, and in the second half, the movie completely fell to pieces. So I was almost fearing that All Superheroes Must Die was going to do the same thing, starting off really strong and ending really poorly. But no, in fact, the movie actually got better as it went on, partially because if there were any flaws with the movie, it was that the heroes started off kind of boring and kind of dull, and thanks to flashbacks and everything else, the heroes are properly fleshed out until there actually comes a point when you begin to care about them, which is amazing, which also is startling considering the fact that the villain, Rickshaw, became instantly likable within 10 seconds of first seeing him. So the heroes had to slowly build up to being likable, and the villain was awesome from the fucking word go. I am going to tell you guys right now that All Superheroes Must Die is by no means a perfect movie. It certainly does have a small handful of technical issues. However, you're probably not going to notice a lot of those technical issues because you're going to be so sucked into the amazingly written story. All Superheroes Must Die came in at number 5, and my god, it earned that spot. Number 4 is another superhero movie. You're probably going to notice a pattern of that this year. It is also a DC animated movie, which should not come as a surprise. I've had almost nothing but glowing praise for nearly every DC direct-to-video animated film. The one thing that may shock you is the subject of this film, because the film's star is a DC character I have never been very fond of. Number 4 is 2012's Superman vs. the Elite. The reason why I've never cared for Superman is because he's always come off as this prim, prissy, perfect Boy Scout who always has to do the right and righteous thing, and oftentimes doing the right thing and sending whatever superpowered menace just tried to kill the world and putting him in prison is a massive detriment because of the fact that they can break out. Superman in the movie is squaring off against a superpowered team who's trying to tell him that he has to change his ways, because we no longer live in a world where a perfect Boy Scout is able to do the right and righteous thing and come out on top. You have to get tough, and you have to get brutal. You have to be savage. Otherwise you are going to fail. The movie tops off in the final act when Superman seemingly goes along with them and snaps. And you actually see what a completely unleashed Superman would look like. And it is nothing short of fucking chilling. The entire movie is a fantastic watch from start to finish. It was so good, I actually have wanted to go out and buy the comics the movie is based on. I still haven't had a chance to yet, but at some point I probably am going to go out and try to find them. Because the movie was so awesome, I have high hopes of the source material equally being amazing. And I really really shouldn't, considering the movie that came in at number 3, which was also based on a comic book, except the source material for that movie was complete shit. I learned that because I got the source issues in a comic bento box this year. I'm talking about 2014's X-Men Days of Future Past. I should mention that before I watched Days of Future Past, my favorite X-Men movie up to that point was X-Men First Class, and I was hoping for Days of Future Past to be a decent film that would hopefully be as good as First Class, and instead it wound up being a sequel that's better than the film that came before it. Days of Future Past is a spectacularly told story from start to finish. And while X-Men First Class was good, Days of Future Past is that much fucking better. Everything about the movie was awesome. I'm talking everything from writing, acting, special effects, everything about it was fantastic. It was so good, I'm still waiting for the opportunity to watch the third movie in the trilogy, which is X-Men Apocalypse. Hopefully at some point I'll pick up a copy and I'll cover it for reaction and review. But I'm not really certain. So yes, guys, X-Men Days of Future Past comes in at number 3, and my God, I'm so happy to see another awesome X-Men movie, and I'm hoping for X-Men Apocalypse to continue the trend of being fucking amazing and awesome and badass. Number 2 was the last movie I watched this year for reaction and review. It is the pitchest black of dark comedies. It is an English comedy from 2010 called Four Lions, about a team of wannabe suicide bombers who really suck at being suicide bombers. And my God, the movie is fucking hilarious all the way up until the final act, and then almost all the humor just fucking drops off, and it becomes this pitch black, dark, serious piece where the only people who are actually funny are the cops trying to stop them. Because the tone shifted that violently. And you know, normally, guys, when a movie has that kind of a sudden and just jerky tonal shift, oftentimes I see that as a problem. But this movie benefited from having that tonal change because once our leads were finally ready to actually go through with their bombing scheme, to actually then continue it as a comedy would probably have felt in bad taste. So things got really serious, really fast, and it almost never let up. And there are moments where you are going to feel complete and total misery and sorrow just simply because of how shit is handled. And once more, in that final act, the only things that are actually going to bring a whole lot of funny are two fucking snipers who apparently are arguing over whether or not a Wookiee is a bear, and Benedict Cumberbatch playing the most inept fucking negotiator in police history. You will get a whole lot of laughs from them. However, when it comes to our leads who are actually trying to go through with their whole bombing thing, there is almost no humor there, and it adds a mountain of weight to the film. And there's also a handful of post fucking credit bits that are actually able to win the viewers back, because there's even more humor in there. Yes, guys, I did actually watch the post fucking credit stuff as soon as I was done filming, and it really was able to bring back a whole lot of the humor that was in the opening part of the movie, and it was fucking awesome. Yes, guys, Four fucking Lions comes in at number 2, and oh man, I loved it so much. Shockingly, that is the only non-comic book movie or non-superhero movie in the top 5 this year. Number 1 is another DC animated film, and shockingly, it's another Superman movie. In fact, I will say right now, it is the greatest Superman film I have ever had the opportunity to see. I'm talking about 2011's AllStar Superman, a story where Superman is dying and he has no way of stopping it. So he has to come to terms with it, and he has to make peace with everything. And the story is told in a fantastic fashion. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, the moment that the movie was done, I went on Amazon and I bought the AllStar Superman trade, and I still have to read it. I'm probably going to start reading it as soon as I'm done filming this thing, because, god damn it, I'm actually thinking about the movie again. I've got to read that fucking book. Anyway, the movie itself, it actually has moments that are going to make you almost tear up because they are so touching and they're so well fucking written. Guys, AllStar Superman. I'm just going to say once more, it is by far the best Superman movie I have ever seen. It is better than Superman 1 and 2. It is better than Man of Steel. Mind you, all of those movies are fucking amazing, but this thing tells a fantastic Superman story, and it's also one where Superman dies and there's no way to fucking like cop out on it, later. At the end of the film, spoiler, Superman is dead. He is dead and gone. Luthor has found a way to clone him, but that's it. They found a way to essentially create a new Superman. But Superman himself is gone. And you actually will feel a level of loss there. Mind you, I guys, am not even a Superman fan. And I was feeling touched by it. The movie was that amazing. And everything else about it, guys. The acting, I'm talking like the acting, the pacing. Well, pacing honestly was really about the one issue, and that's an issue with all of the DC films, so you just got to get used to a really fast fucking pace. The comic will hopefully space out things a little bit better. Art style, which is trying to replicate the art from the book, and my god, it did a fantastic job of it, guys. I would say that AllStar Superman is my favorite DC animated movie of all time. But I can't say that because of the existence of both Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, and Batman Return of the Caped Crusaders. If those two films were not a thing, AllStar Superman would by all means be my favorite DC animated film of all time. It is that fucking good. And it has earned the #1 spot this year. And you know what, guys? It honestly has it has stuck to that #1 spot ever since I first covered it. Because, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, the top 5 and bottom 5 lists are things that I work on over the entire year. The moment that I put AllStar Superman at #1, nothing ever came close to taking it off of that spot. That is how good that movie is. I loved it, and probably as soon as I'm done reading the book, I'm probably going to go back and watch the fucking thing again. And I've already watched it about 5 times this year. I'll totally make it a 6th by the end of this year. The movie was amazing. It has earned the #1 spot, and it actually has made me care a little bit about Superman. And that in tandem with Superman versus the fucking Elite is something I never thought I would ever say. I never thought I'd be able to say I care about Superman. But fucking A, that movie made it happen. So, my friends, right there is the top 5 for 2016. And tomorrow, I'm going to be taking a look at the other side of the coin. Tomorrow, we are going to be looking at the 5 worst movies I watched this year. And man, oh man, there's some bad shit on that fucking list, and I cannot wait to take one more stab at them, because oh boy, I've got shit to say. So guys, until then, I will see all of you tomorrow. Peace.